All right, all right. Well, we are back. We are back to ACC. I have with me a wonderful friend. So we are about to chat for a minute. But again, thank you for watching and let's just dive to it. Well, it's so nice to see you again.
Thank you. Nice to see you.
Absolutely. It's like every time we have something big going on, you're there.
Oh,
That's a good thing, right? So we know that once you're there, there's knowledge, there's wisdom that's going on, and so forth. So today, I know that our young men and our church are putting together this great event on King's Corner that's really partaking into young boys and build them up into young men and create that connection within. Wonderful. So we're going to talk about that. But before we start, please do announce, just let our audience know who you are.
Sure, gladly. My name is Samuel Busret. I'm one of the youth pastors at Theophil Nation Ministry, Theophil Church in Christ, and we are located in Atlanta. And it's always a pleasure to be here at Open Bible, especially when it involves the youth. We're excited to be here, and we had the privilege of participating in their Young Men's Conference this year, King's Corner, and it was a fantastic time.
And that's beautiful. I always like to say, Pastor Simon, that's how
Thank you.
So it's wonderful. So tell me, so you've been here since yesterday, or was it today is your first?
Today is our first day.
First day. Okay,
and
great.
We spent the entire afternoon here.
Okay. So being a young pastor, a young leader, right, working with the youth, I know that we don't have much time, so try to dive right to it. So dealing with young mindset, with young men. So tell me, what do you see as far as a young person yourself? What do you see? It's the biggest struggle for our young man to becoming who God called them to be.
Yes, oftentimes for a young man to find out what it's all about and how they should move in this type of society is one, confidence. It's always important to remind them that they are young men and it's important to have confidence. And then as a young Christian man, there's also the responsibility of having good ethics, good morals, and being able to be an upstanding and righteous young man.
Oh, I love that. Big words.
When we take the Bible talks about how Jesus, he grew in stature and in the presence of all men and being able to uphold and uplift them in that regard. It's a fantastic thing.
Oh, I love it. That's a whole different level. So you're talking my language. I have a young man I'm raising myself. He's 11 years old. So I shared before that, my approach with him is very intentional. So I do not approach him as just, this is just a kid. I have in my house a young man that's becoming a leader, a father, and a husband of one wife. And I make it very clear as the beginning. So he knows the standard. He knows who he is. And of course, I put things, just giving things into his level, and gradually, but I'm building up that empower mindset for him to stand with excellence. So I love, the big words you use, because it is a matter of time for us just to honor structure and discipline. For us to, welcome excellency, for us just to know, okay, I know we say like doesn't mean perfect, but guess what? It's not truth. You can walk in perfection. You may not, like I said, okay, we're all sinners, whatever it is, but we can walk within perfection. It is a mentality, whatever you approach with excellency. So I love that. And thank you for imparting that into our young men. So talk to me. So today, how do you take our young men these days, based on all these distractions? We have the games, we have the self-centered, because we have a bunch of introverts, mostly young men these days. They don't talk much. They don't express their feelings much. And they are more oriented sports athletes. So how do you deal with that? How do you captivate the mindset? How do you portray any information? What kind of access or theories or techniques you use to pass on the knowledge to them? Because for me, I'm like,
No, that's a fair question. And there's a lot that goes into raising a young man.
Yeah.
One of the tactics that is important for this day and age in parenting is to deny them the responsibility of being accountable, giving them things to do and then following through with their actions.
Yes.
Right now he's 11, and for a younger gentleman like that are still in their youth, it's important to let them know that they have a responsibility in the home.
Yes.
It's important for them to know that they can contribute in the home.
That's
in
good.
a very specific way.
That's good.
And when they have those responsibilities, then hold them responsible. Say, hey, listen, did you do these things that our family is counting on?
I love it.
When they say, hey, if you don't do them, who else is going to?
Yeah.
And we want them to know that when they are able to step up and be accountable and be able to make decisions, that the family appreciates that.
Yeah, I love that.
Say, listen, because of what you've been able to do, this is the result, and there are good consequences that follow.
I love it.
And on the flip side, of course, if there are things that they are not doing well, or they're going against the grain and not doing, then you let them know of the negative consequences that they have too. And now you have to remind them that as a result, here's how the family suffers as a result. And we want them to do better and more for themselves as well. So there you go.
You realize that you got me there, right? I'm all attentive, 100% to you.
Awesome.
So, Brother Samuel, when is the book is coming out?
I know. We'll work on the book.
Okay, all right. So make sure that, all right? So I have to be there, okay? So awesome, beautiful. I love it. I love it. And I think that what you're saying is so true. Now, our challenge, I think it's with the parents, because as a teacher, so, sometimes to pass on the concept to the child, you have to somehow reach the parents, So how do we, as young leader at church, how do you, especially our culture, our young parents, beautiful Haitian parents. So how do you have them engage or have them, settle down to embrace that information? And so we can get into, collaboratively partnering within, to get access to the kids. How do you break it down to them?
Absolutely. So one thing I want to remind all Haitian parents out there is that we are on the same team.
Wow.
Your youth leaders, your youth pastors, the leaders at the church, we are all on the same team. We want the best for your children.
Wow.
And we want the best specifically for your young men. And so one of the things we want to always remind parents is that you have done so much to get this far, and it takes a lot of sacrifice. And we do not take it for granted. And then we want to remind the children too that, listen, your parents have done so much to get you this far. Here's how you can reward them so that they know that you appreciate what they've done.
That's beautiful.
And then on the flip side, what ends up happening is you have this community connection that happens in the family that says, okay, now that I know what you're going through, and this type of generation and society is different than the one I grew up with, now we get to help each other not only understand what you are going through, but the experience that as a parent and as your leaders can give you to say, it may not be the exact same setup, but because of my experience, here's what I can share that I've done. One of the things that I would love for all Haitian parents to do is to be a little bit more vulnerable.
Open-minded.
Remind them that, hey, we were not perfect. We made mistakes. Here's how we overcame them. Transparent. It's fantastic to see the shift that happens when there's a little bit more communication between the parent and the child. So
Open up.
Haitians can do it too.
Absolutely. And because of that, there's a gap. That's only that aspect can really fix the problem, because they are striving. They are aware of how to make money, how to succeed, but we need them to really bring things like into coherence, into order with what God expects of them. So, and I'm listening to you. What's going through my mind, I know next week we'll be having Virtuous Me, but at one point I think that somehow the young woman needs to have a man sitting with that, concept, bringing their perspective. So, because you're going to need that for any kind of information to make sense to a woman. Because why? Because we came from the man. So therefore we cannot take it out of order. And I think at one point, a voice like yours, a wisdom like yours needs to be, somehow into that perimeter, just so we can really intertwine with the information, so they really can seek in and make sense, right? So I think it's very important. So it is amazing, we are in a battle. This is a battlefield. It's just be well.
It is.
I know we're having this talk right now, but we're on the battlefield. We're about to end. This is require intentionality. And it's required for us to calm our thoughts, call out all these distractions, to really intentionally dive into, because we need to restore this generation.
Absolutely.
We need to set them in a better way so they can become better fathers, husbands, and so forth. so we can move things around.
Absolutely.
So thank you
You're
for your diligence. Thank you for your openness. Thank you for even willing to, to be God's voice and so forth. So may God cover you and your family. And thank you for being here.
Thank you. The pleasure is all mine. It's great to see you again.
Me too.
Thank you for having me. And I can't wait to see what God does in these young men's lives. We're excited about the next generation for sure.
Absolutely. Until next time.
Until next
Thank
time.
you for watching.